Alright guys, welcome back. So yesterday I was supposed to post a video and I didn't, which is like a problem because I said I would, and I feel bad about that, I really do. So what we'll do instead is I'm going to make 3 different videos. This will be the first one of those, and what I'm going to do is a tool review of just the stuff I bought this year. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've filmed it 4 or 5 different times, but I just can't seem to get it right. It ends up being like 20 and 30 minutes every time, and it should be only like 10 minutes. So let's, without further ado, let's get to that. This is number 1 of 3 that you're going to get, hopefully today, Wednesday, in December. I don't know what day it is. 10, 12, 8, 9, 20th? I don't know. I think it's the 20th. All right, anyway, let's do that. So for the first one, we'll keep it pretty simple. It's one you might have seen in my videos already, but it's this Bauer. I think it's a 1000 lumen spotlight. Doesn't say. Some of the Bauer stuff doesn't say what it is on the outside like a bunch of other tools do. These just don't. But it's okay. Doesn't bother me. I'm pretty sure it must be more than that. So I have no idea. No idea how many lumens, but it's bright. It's a great spotlight. It's an awesome work light. It's got 2 settings. You get high and low, and then off. You get this hook on here, so you can, and it's super maneuverable. Got this hook, so you can hang it from whatever, and have it pointing down, and it just snaps in and out, which is pretty awesome. And the snap is pretty strong. You can hear it. And the stand is pretty easy to move. It's got adjusters on the side. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. It's a light. Everybody's seen a light. It can take all of the Bauer batteries, obviously. This is a 5 amp hour. So I'll try to buy only the 5 amps. Or I'm trying to get the 8 amp, but waiting for it to go on sale. Or it's plugged in. Or you can plug it into a 110 outlet, which is really nice to have. And even nicer is that plugging it into a 110 doesn't change the functionality of it. It doesn't get brighter on 110, and it doesn't get dimmer, so to speak, on a battery, which is awesome. I like that a lot. And running it on the battery at full blast on a 5 amp hour, I think I get about 4 or 5 hours maybe of constant light, which is not bad at all considering I can charge these batteries in less than an hour. I think it's actually right at 60 minutes on the fastest charger, which, while I'm talking about it, is this bad boy here. At least as of December 2023, this is the fastest charger. It's the double port. Let me go outside for this. Sorry about that. It's just super dark in there. I wanted to test the light in there, but I don't know why I would try to show this in there. So it's a dual port. It says 20 volt parallel port, dual port charger. Not bad. And it does charge both at the same amperage, whether you have 1 on there or 2, no matter how dead they are, which you would hope for, right? It's got 2 USB ports, which are, I think, either 2.4 or, it says it on, I think it's 2.4 amp USBs. So, I mean, it's not fast, but it's got 2 of them, which is nice. And the actual battery charger itself for the big batteries is a 4 amp. Okay, which is fantastic. So while I'm here, I actually have all the chargers that they have for the Bauer stuff. This is the next step down. It's the Rapid Plus charger. I think it's $30. This is $45, I think. Something along those lines. Don't quote me on it. It might be 40. I really don't know. This one is, I believe, $30. So that one's probably 40. Who knows? This one is $30 charger. It's a 3 amp. It says Rapid Plus charger. Let's see. It outputs 20 volts, obviously. Let's see. It works at 79 watts. Input is 79 watts. So it's a pretty quick charger. It's not bad. This is the one I was using for a long time before that one come out. And I don't really have any complaints, but all it does is charge the batteries. It doesn't have any phone charger or anything like that. And this is the cheapest charger you can get. It's just the rapid charger. I believe it does, it's a 1.7 amp. It takes a long time to charge on this bad boy. Because that one's double. And that one's, yeah, it's double. And this one's almost triple. The bigger one. This one's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But this one's 25 and that one's 30. So just pay the extra $5 and get the extra amp. This is the one that comes with most of the kits that Harbor Freight sells. And I do keep it. I got it for free on some kind of deal they had where you buy some tool and you get a charger and a battery free. I'm not going to pass up that offer. So while we're on it, let's see. The first thing I bought from Harbor Freight is this bad boy right here. It's an 18 gauge brad nailer. It does not do staples. It just does brad nails. And how it works is it's got this here, this button. Make sure you can see. You can't. There we go. Got this button here that does all the, that controls the light, which the lights are here and here. I know this is super dirty. I've used this a crap ton. This selector switch down is going to be your multiples where you hold the button, and each time you push, it's going to go. This selector is single, so you push down and you pull the trigger every time. I don't have a battery in it, so don't worry. It's brushed. They don't have a brushless model of this yet, but they did. When I bought this, it was only the nailer. It's all they had. They didn't have a staple gun. And so a few months ago, they now have a staple gun. 18, I think it goes up to 3/4 inch staple. Probably bigger. I have no idea. Don't ask me. I haven't bought it. This has been working fairly well. I have a few things that are wrong, which I may go ahead and return it because it's only been like a year or so since I bought it, I think. Even if it's not, I paid $80, or I paid $100 for this. And then I got, oh, that's when I bought this, got the charger and a battery for free. So pretty nice. Could have been the other way around, bought a charger and battery. Either way, it worked out to be about $100, and I got all three of those. It's very heavy. I bet it weighs 3 pounds by itself. So it's not super convenient to work with, but it does work, and it does drive nails through hardwood. Don't really have any complaints besides this rubber piece fell off, which I'm just going to make a new one out of some tape if I can't return this. But I did get I think I only got a 1-year warranty, so it might be too late anyway. This is how what you call it. It's got a spring clip on it. You can load 1.5, I call them bricks of nails, even though it's just a little sliver. In there, it pushes them up nice. If it gets stuck, you got an indicator here, but it doesn't say anywhere what it indicates, so you got to look it up online, but it's pretty easy to find. I recommend it if you really need one, but if you don't really need one and you're just wanting one for when you need it and you have the money, get you a Milwaukee, DeWalt, Makita, something else, because they're going to be a lot lighter. This is very heavy. See, I bought a lot of crap, so let's go with this. Drywall cutout tool, battery powered. This works very well. It's a single speed rocker switch. It says it has 27,000 rotations per minute. I believe that. It's very fast. I've not had any trouble out of it. It comes with a extra, they call it a collet. Comes with a 1/8 and a 1/4 inch. This is a 1/8. That's all I've ever used on it. That's all I ever needed. I lost all the other stuff anyway. I think I paid $50 for this. Worth every penny. We've used the living crap out of it. I mean, you can look at it, see it's all gunked up. So I recommend that. Here's the other thing. Here's another thing, I mean. It's the... Oh, perfect. This is a brushless oscillating multi-tool. It's got the quick connect that actually stays. You can pull your stuff off, put it on, pick any angle you want. It's nice. I bought this year sometime. Don't remember when. It's got a selector switch or a slide switch, whatever you want to call it. And it has a selector dial for your speed. And you will need that because Sometimes this thing is just too fast. I've used this a lot, and the only complaint I have about it, I have two, technically two. If you use it for longer than 5 minutes, which really shouldn't be anyway, you know, at a time, it's going to get pretty warm at the head. That's to be expected because you have that, whatever, rod, you know, pushing it back and forth. It doesn't get super hot to where it's like smoking and stuff, but it does get fairly warm. And the other thing is it vibrates really bad, so there's no isolation in the motor and all the things. It just, I mean, vibrates you bad. But it works well. It's something I bought for my wife and ended up using actually more for myself. It's a hot glue gun. And it doesn't really have any, my goodness, it's lunchtime over here. It doesn't really have any information on it, but I know it takes about 90 seconds for it to completely heat up. And you hit this button, your light will be red. When it's heated up, light turns green. And I've run probably 10 glue sticks through it, and it's never slowed down and stopped heating itself, or heating the glue, I mean. So it's been very awesome. I use this for flooring if we have a weak spot that doesn't want to cooperate. And for other things, but mostly the flooring. I bought this recently. My goodness, it's a Jigsaw, or whatever you want to call it. This is one of the better things that I've bought from them so far. And it's way better made. I pretty much got this for free with a battery. So it has 3 cutting speeds, which really they're not speeds, it's resistance. But it works about the same way. Battery, 20 volt, obviously. It's brushless, this one, I believe. Maybe it's not. No, it's not. It's weird. Looks like it would be. No, it's not brushless, but I've never seen a difference in this and the brushless one. The battery lasts as long as you need it to, so it doesn't pull a whole bunch of power. Their stuff's getting better. So it has the slider on it to make it easier to make straight cuts. It's got a laser that reaches very far. I think it goes like 3 foot in front of it that you can see, so that's nice. The blade sometimes wants to come off track, but that's not really the tool's fault. That's more so the bendy blades that they sold with it, or that I got separate. Actually, it didn't come with blades. The blade removal is very easy. It's just this tiny little thing. That's pretty awesome, and it pops out. You don't even have to crap. You don't even have to pull it out. It pops right out for you. I've only used it a few times, but the few times that I have used it have been very nice. But I used it on metal, and I've used it on wood. It works okay on both, but real good. Works okay on metal, works real good on wood. There you go. That keeps those in there by themselves. And I think the last Bauer tool that I have in my toolbox here, which I'll bring the others out shortly, is this just a handheld air pump. This does have some information on it. The duty cycle is 10 minutes on, 15 minutes off, which is pretty nice. A lot of them are 5 minutes. Household use only, meaning, I mean, it's not meant to air up big, giant truck tires on a semi-truck, obviously. It's more so for bicycle tires and things like that, but it will air up your truck tire. And pretty quick, too. So I keep this with me wherever I go. Keep it in both trucks. It's not the best inflator, is what they call it, but it works well. Comes with, basketball needle, air mattress, balloon, whatever you need to do with it. It'll do it. I recommend it. So we'll move to my other stuff. So next we have the Bauer reciprocating saw, or what most people call a sawzall, because it saws everything. That's Milwaukee's brand, but this is a Bauer. And I have some complaints about this, but I also have, I don't know what the other word is. There's some drawbacks and there's some really great things. So I'll go with the drawbacks first. Drawbacks, it is so heavy. I mean, like, really heavy. Let me weigh this real quick. I've not done that before. Yeah. So with a battery, it's 3.5 pounds. And 3.5 pounds holding like this is heavy. Because all the weight is up there. None of it's back here besides the battery. Without the battery, you can't even hold it up. Hardly. And I'm a pretty strong guy. And with the battery, it's still pretty front heavy. They ought to have put this farther back. I mean, it would have been more awkward, but it would have weighed it out better. Unless you're using a small battery, then it wouldn't matter. But other than it being heavy, it the tool change, it's very easy. Pull it back. The spring is pretty strong, so you don't have to worry about it coming loose itself. Uses your standard Sawzall insert. Holds it in place just fine. The speed is pretty awesome, actually. It's fast. It is loud and it does vibrate quite a bit. But other than that, it works fantastic. I use it to cut metal, wood, hardwood. It cuts everything. The Bauer blades that came with it were awful. Don't use those. I try not to use anything Bauer if I can help it. As far as the hand tools and blades and stuff that come with it. I'll buy them if I really need something and I don't want to pay full price right then. But other than that, they're pretty worthless. This is a Diablo. I use Diablo blades on almost everything if I can afford it. And this does have a lock. And it works. And unlocks. And you don't have to push it every time. It just stays open. Alright, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It doesn't eat too much battery. It's not brushless, but it doesn't spark a lot, just a little bit. I've not had any trouble out of it. I've gotten it wet. I've used it in the rain. I've used it in the snow. And I've used it when it's like 100-something outside. I recommend it if you're needing something. I only paid $50 for that, and I think I got a free battery with that too. So next, well, while it's here, Bauer Cordless wet dry vacuum. I think it might be brushless. No, it's not brushless, but that doesn't really matter. It works fairly well. A lot better than you think it would. I was skeptical, but I needed a new battery, and they were having that sale where you buy a battery and you get one of the tools free, and I didn't have this yet, so I was like, yeah, let me get that. Downside. So here's your inlet. As you notice, you can't fit a bag on there. I have plans on retrofitting a bag holder onto it because I really need it because I just basically do drywall most of the time, or it's wood chips, wood dust, sawdust, things like that. And so I really need a bag on it to catch that stuff because this filter fills up quick. That's pretty much it. It comes with 2 attachments. You get your, what you call it, attachment. I left this out in the rain. And the other one's on here. It only goes on one way. The lid. Your battery goes in the very back, right here. And the lid can only go on that way. It's got snap things. Those work very well. Your other attachment, is here. It's like the flat-headed attachment. And it clips in there. I've never had it fall out, which is nice. And there's a clip on this side. It's a 3.5 gallon. The hose comes off like that, and it locks in. So you don't have to worry about pulling it out. That's awesome. It doesn't have wheels because it's very small. It's very light. It's actually might be lighter than the Sawzall. Probably not, but it feels like it just from the way it is. It's about the same. 4 pounds. You can't see it. It's 4 pounds though. So this weighs almost the same as the Sawzall, which is something else. Oh, let's keep going here. So we'll do this next. This is also one of the first things I bought. I believe I bought this and my Sawzall at the same time. No, I bought this and the nailer at the same time. This is just a Jobsite radio. That's what they call it, not me. Cordless Bluetooth radio is what they call it. But it used to say on the package, Jobsite radio. What what's it say? It doesn't really say anything about it, but it has also a charger, which is 2.4, a aux port. It can take all their batteries. I don't know about the 8 amp hour, if it would take it and sit right. I haven't actually looked at that, but probably they've made a new one by now. I bought this 2 years ago, and it likely will accept the 8 amp. It has a few options. It does that every time you turn it on. I'm trying to play my music. So it has Bluetooth, aux for an aux cord, FM, and AM. That's it. So you can skip. I know it's really dirty. I've painted it and drywalled it and all kinds of stuff. It's got insulation and caulking all over it. It's crazy. I haven't actually used the presets on this. It's got 10 presets. Wait. Yeah, it's got 10 presets. That's pretty cool. You just hold this button down. I didn't know that. It does not get very loud. Let me try this again. Okay, this is radio. I mean, it does, but I'll give it a second. Pretty cool. It's also got a little antenna, and it does help. That antenna does. Either way, it gets really good signal, because this station that I'm on doesn't come in very well in my truck, which has a long antenna and a good radio. Oh, something else I forgot to mention. This is for your phone. Let me get it here. I'll give you an example. This is one of the biggest phones you can buy. It's a Motorola, what's it called? Stylus, Moto G Stylus or whatever, 5G, something or another. And it fits my phone in there pretty nice. Not perfectly, but it doesn't really fall out. Takes quite a bit. So, that's a plus. I like that thing. I use it very often. Mostly, well, not mostly, but a lot of the time I'll just take it with me on a road trip or something, or if I'm going camping, and use this as a charger for my phone. It'll charge my phone 10 or 15 times, depending on, how dead it is. So I love that thing, and I do recommend it. I think it's $40 right now, $39.99 maybe. Let's see. I'll show you the batteries shortly. I have more stuff. Where is it? So here's something else I bought very recently in the past few months. I really needed an impact wrench. This one happened to be on sale. And you got a battery with it, which was cool. That's why I have a 1.5 on here. It's a 3/8. There we go. Impact wrench. It's brushed. This one happens to be brushed, and it has no selector. So I got it for, I think I paid right at 30 for it, and then I got a battery for free. It claims, this doesn't have the claims on it, but I think it claimed 350 foot-pounds of breakaway and 200 or so, 180 maybe, of tightening. It does not come anywhere close to that, which, as you know, is just the norm among tools. I don't know how they're measuring their stuff, but it's not the correct way. It's that same car from the other day. So it's brushed. You can hear that it's brushed. It is loud, but it does work very well. I've used it to take the lug nuts off of that truck and my other truck and my wife's car. And so it does do its job. I use this for just about everything. It's not going to take your axle nuts, your crankshaft bolts, anything like that. It's not going to take that off. It's not that powerful. They don't claim it's that powerful. 350, I believe, is what they said, breakaway. I would bet it's maybe 200 breakaway and maybe 150 tightening. So it does tighten pretty well. Definitely up to spec. I can't remember. I checked it with a torque wrench one time, and I believe it was about 20 pounds off of what it said it could do. But that was also on a 19 millimeter lug nut, and I think they tested it on something way smaller, like probably a 10 mil or something. Either way, I do recommend this. I have not had any issues out of it. It'll accept all the batteries fine. It has 3 lights, which is fantastic. They're not as bright as like DeWalt or Milwaukee, but they are bright and they do work and they do help. And the only downside of these lights that I've seen is I think you get 5 seconds of light from them. Yeah, there they go. So you get about 5 seconds, maybe 3. And we're coming close to the end of all the Bauer tools. I'll show you the different batteries. I remember which tool I forgot, actually. It's this mixer. So I bought this mixer, obviously, for drywall. You see how nasty it is. It's brushless, which is great, because it eats a lot of power, which it ought to. It's a giant mixer. It has 2 mix settings. They're not really, well, there are speed settings, but it's like a drill speed setting. So on 2, it might go faster, but it's just geared down or geared up higher, and so you're not going to get as much torque. I've never gotten this thing stuck. I've mixed dry concrete on accident, like, you know, basically dry. It's got a drill type chuck, 1/2 inch. Takes a battery on top. It accepts all the batteries. It has a speed selector. This is actual speed. It mixes pretty fast, probably faster than a drill, and also slower than a drill for when you need it to not go everywhere. It came with a drill chuck tool. I lost it, obviously. I have one that I use for it, but this I've had actually a little trouble out of, and you can replace these. Yeah, it's got a screw right down the middle. So I was gonna return this and get another one, and I still might, because I always buy the protection plans, because this just doesn't work right anymore. It's got a bunch of dents in it from where we had to put a wrench on it. I mean, a pair of pliers on it, channel locks. So that doesn't work great anymore, but that's totally replaceable. Everything else, the bearings, the motor, everything has worked flawlessly the whole time I've had it, and it's not all that heavy. It probably weighs about the same as the Sawzall. I recommend that for sure. It's I know that one is $80 right now, and it's worth every single penny. So like I said, coming back to the batteries, I tried to put these in order from the newest I've bought, most recent, to the oldest, except for these 2. I don't remember when I bought them, but they're 2 different sizes. All 5 of those are 5 amp hour, and these 2 is a 3 and a 1.5. So this is the newest one I've bought, and they've done, I can't remember the date on it. You can see it here. Go back. 22. Right there. I think that's the date. It might be 23. No, I have no idea. And then this one. Okay, yeah. So 22 must be a different code. 23, this one. Will you focus? Yeah, this one's 23. So I don't know what the last 2 are, but those are from 2023. This one, I think, right here is my oldest. I don't know. 21. Yep. Okay. So I've returned one of these batteries and replaced it with this one, I believe, because this one I bought separate. So I had to return one that was the exact same month as this one, because number one, the battery indicator just stopped working entirely. I would push it kind of like this one here. If you look, you see the button. You might not be able to see. The button is pushed all the way in, and it's hard to press. I have to use my fingernail to press it in, which I'm not too worried about. I mean, that sucks because I kind of paid for that, but also I don't really care. I know when it's about to be dead, so that doesn't really bother me. And this one's over 2 years old, which any other company, everything would still be working just fine, but this company, I think I got this battery for free, so who cares? Some people do, I don't. So you could see a difference in design between the, oh, that was nice. right here. The oldest and the newest. You can see they changed something. Can you tell what it is? Because I can. You see this little ramp that goes up here? See, this one's a little bit shorter and more rounded. This one's taller and it's sharp. So this one is easier to get into your drills and stuff than this one is. For one, turn it over. You can see the divot on the back is deeper on this one. I don't know what it's for, but it's deeper. They changed the design of their thing just a little bit. They spaced it a little bit better. So that looks nicer. You can see the spacing is different on this. Not that it really matters. I'm just saying there's a difference. And in the overall... Oh, crap. Turned it the wrong way. You can see a difference in the overall design of the actual battery. It's not worn down. It's just sharper. And I like that. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. Other than that, they don't seem to work any different. Besides, this one dies just a little bit quicker than this one. But I've had this 2 years, and that was the only 5 amp I had for 6 months or so before I could actually buy more batteries. So the 5s will last you, depends on what you're doing. If it's in the vacuum, it'll run for about an hour and a half, which is impressive. Full time. If it's in the Sawzall, you can get about 30 minutes of runtime out of one. Maybe a little less. It just depends on what you're cutting. And on just about all the other tools, you can just about use it for 3 or 4 hours of intermittent use, but heavy use. Okay, so the 3 amp hour batteries, I don't recommend buying these just because they're basically the exact same size as the 5. For one, they cost $15 less than the 5 amp, I think. Maybe 25. Either way, I would pay the extra money to buy the 5 or the 8. I haven't tried the 8. It's probably pretty heavy. I got this on a deal, obviously. The everything works on it. It's exactly like the 5, but less power. The 1.5s are actually a fairly good deal if you're using them every once in a while. But I've had trouble with this one too, where the light button doesn't want to work. But these are out of warranty, all of them, except for the newest one I bought. Which, if you were a jerk, you could take one of the... Oh, well, I have actually done it before. You take one of the older ones back that is out of warranty after you bought one of the newer ones. But then you run into, if that one breaks, then you can't return it. But they ought to have a longer warranty on their batteries if they care about their customers at all. Or let you buy a warranty for the batteries, because I totally would. But whatever. The one I did take back that was out of warranty, actually, I wasn't sure it was out of warranty, because I wasn't sure which one I had bought. But I was pretty sure it was a different one, but there was no telling. But the one I took back was only like a month out. So you get 90 days, so it was like 120. It's their fault for having crappy things on that anyway. All right, now we'll move over to the non-Bauer stuff. This one ought to move pretty quick. As far as non-Bauer stuff goes, I bought this in the last year. It's a... No, I bought this about 1.5 years ago or so. Pretty good while. This is a Craftsman 10-inch miter saw on a stand. I'll talk about the stand in a minute. It's a sliding miter saw. It's got the side adjustment, the tilt adjustment. It has arms that come out for if you... Everything's got a knob on it. So it's got arms that come out if you're cutting something small, or if you're using it screwed to a table or something. It's got them on both sides. It's also got a stop for whatever you use that for. I guess you would use that to measure. If you're... Oh, my bad. If you're doing quick measurements, you put that up and stop your boards from moving. No idea. It's got the miter attachment here. I think it only goes on this side. So, well, yeah, I guess so, because that other side already has raised edges, which is nice. That's a nice thing, because that's mostly what I use it for doing miters on crown molding and whatnot. It comes with its own clamp, and it's a quick move, quick swivel. The bearing underneath is it's pretty nice. It's about that big around. It's dead center. You can see the bolt for it right there. I've took this whole thing apart and cleaned it before. It's very easy. I've taken the blade off. They give you the only tool you need to do it right there, attached to it, and it doesn't easily come out. You actually have to wrestle it out of there, and that'll handle all the stuff you need. You have to take, oh my bad, this screw back here, and then there's one more right there that you can get to also. So they designed this very well. I couldn't be happier with this saw, actually. I almost went with a DeWalt that was another $150 extra. I bought this for $300, and I'm happy I went with the Craftsman. Oh, it also comes with a canvas collection bag on the back that works pretty well too, and you can hook a regular vacuum hose to the back as well. It does an okay job collecting, but a lot of it's going to come out the top right here. But it's a saw. What are you going to do? So now we can talk about this saw stand. This is from Harbor Freight. It's Warrior, I think, is the brand, because the black and orange. I don't know anymore because I think it all got rubbed off. Well, maybe up here. Nope, nothing. Oh, there you go. Warrior. So the arms come out, I think, 3 foot on each side. Maybe 2 foot. But that's how far it comes out. It has an up and down adjustment here. It's pretty clunky. Once you tighten it, it's pretty firm. Hang on, you gotta like hold it down to tighten it. There we go. So once you tighten it, it's fine. But till then, it's pretty loose. There's no bearings inside of these tubes or any sliders or anything like that. I keep it greased up pretty good usually. Not lately because it's winter time and I haven't been using it. But it does work fine. It comes with this clamp here. I don't have any, what's the word for it, reservations about the clamp besides that this one, the spring broke on it. I could replace it, but I bought this for $80, the stand. And as you know, if you've ever bought one, anything like this, those are like $150 for any other brand. So I really needed something cheap that would just work and that was super light. These legs fold up to, it sticks out right above this. So it's pretty portable. I like that a lot. Something else I forgot to, hang on. Okay, my bad. My wife needed me for something. So, yep, highly recommend it. It works fine as long as you don't mind tinkering with stuff a little bit, and it's pretty cheap. It's cheaply made, but it's never failed me. It has always worked. Even with a broken spring, it still latches itself right down. You just got to push it down instead of it going in itself. No problem at all. It's the stand itself is actually pretty sturdy. I mean, you can see it's got a little wobble, but if you kick the legs out before you use it, you won't have any issue with it. And we've put quite a bit of weight on it, and it's not bulged or broken or anything like that. So on to the next tool, which is down here. This is just a pancake compressor. I believe this is also from Harbor Freight. Yeah, Central Pneumatic. It works fine. It's just a pancake compressor. It's never quit working. It's gotten pretty warm when we used it for about 2 hours constantly, which is to be seen. We oil it regularly, even though it says you don't have to. I don't trust it, so I go ahead and oil it, which I think has prolonged the life of it. You're not going to run anything big on it because I think it's a 3-gallon, might be a 6-gallon. And that's pretty much all I got to say about it. It works just fine. Everything still works on it, both of the gauges, and it's about 3 or 4 years old. I got it from somebody else who also took care of it. My step-grandfather, whatever. My grandfather, and he just passed away about a year ago. And it works great. And then the next one is the Craftsman. I think it's a 15-gallon. 12. I bet it's a 12-gallon vacuum cleaner. Wet and dry vac. I call everything like that What crap? I don't forgot. Oh well. I guess it's a wet dry vac. I don't know why I just forgot what it's called. Whatever. It works fine. Yeah, we've had it about 2 years, sucking up a bunch of drywall dust pretty much 2 days out of the week, every week. And it's still holding up, but it's got a really bad whine to it now, which is to be expected. But I think we paid $60 for it. It lasted 2 years. It's gone well beyond its lifetime. So I recommend the Craftsman vacuum cleaners as well. They work great. So over here in the corner, I'm not getting it out, but you see that's a DeWalt corded drywall sander. It is variable speed. The variable speed wheel broke off of it. It's just a little plastic piece holding it on, so we had to wire it to full throttle, which is not fun. Eventually I'll wire it with another speed selector. I'll probably just put like a light switch dimmer on it. That's what I do for everything. They work great. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You're supposed to buy a special attachment for it because they only want you to use the DeWalt vacuums with it. The DeWalt specific bag drywall vacuums with it. And I refuse to do that. So if you get a rubber, I believe that's a 2.5-inch rubber PVC attachment kind of thing, then it works just as well. And then I have the metal, I can't remember what those are called either. We'll call them cinch rings. And it works fine. It's still working right now. I've had to replace the pad a few times. And I've had Porter cables, which is the same company now, that the drive, it's not a shaft exactly, because it's a bunch of metal wires, like a spring sort of, that spin it, and it's really a good system, so that way that the motor can be in the back like you see, and then that drive, we'll call it a drive shaft, goes all the way down and into the head, and that way if it gets stopped, then it's not a hard metal drive shaft tearing up your motor. That drive shaft, it's got a little spring to it, so it bounces back instead of tearing up your motor there. It is a brushed motor, which most corded things are, but it works well. I recommend it. It's a good buy, but the next time I'm just gonna buy one of those cheap black and orange ones off of Amazon, because none of them have lasted us 2 years, and we bought a cheap black and orange one a while back. It's this brand. What brand is this again? Win. So a Win drywall sander will work not just as well, but it works well. But that one's nice. It's very light. Let's see. I think that's about all the tools I've bought this year. This was given to me. It's just a DeWalt 20-volt brushless. No, it's cordless. Oh, no wonder it eats my battery up so bad. It's a cordless circular saw. It's the 20-volt version, not the old version. This works okay. It kills your batteries very, very quickly. So if you're going to buy a circular saw from DeWalt, get their cordless, brushless version. Otherwise, it works okay. I have a Diablo blade on it, so it cuts pretty quick. It's a ripper blade. It's nice. I almost forgot. It's not a power tool. They aren't power tools. But these ladders from Lowe's, they're Cobalt. You can't read it anymore because it wore off. But you can see it's a 3-step ladder with a holder on top. These spots are pretty useless. They don't even really hold a screwdriver or a hammer or anything. I'm not sure why they're there. They could have made them bigger. These work fine. You can actually stick screws into these, which is kind of dumb. Or you can fit your screwdrivers in there as well. And it's got a nice area for other things in there. A paint pail fits nice on there, and it's got some kind of attachment. You can't see it, but like there you go, slide clip right there. I don't know what goes on it. Probably something from Cobalt, but it works well. So I got the 3-step and the 2-step version. Let me run you over to the 2-step version. Don't mind my truck, it's pretty nasty. And there's your 2-step version. It's pretty much exactly the same thing, but the cup there's a little shallower. And it also has that little attachment thing on there. I also got this other ladder, but somebody gave this to me. My uncle did, my great uncle. And it's, I think it's Werner. Yeah. It's a Werner, excuse me, heavy duty, industrial use. It's just a 16-foot straight ladder or an 8-foot step ladder down to 8 foot. Or you can make a scaffold out of it that's 4 foot tall. I like that part of it too. Because we use scaffolds a lot. Sometimes we just need something short and tall. That's hard to do with a scaffold. And I believe, besides my Milwaukee drywall gun, which will be a whole video by itself, that I don't have anything else to declare. A DeWalt brushless drill works fine, as you'd expect. Yes, pretty much all I got as far as tools. I have some other things that I'll show later on sometime, but as far as that, that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed that much. I got these from a buddy, so I can't really comment on prices and stuff. When you buy Milwaukee stuff, usually you get a bag with it. Milwaukee bags are nice. If you need a work bag and you only want to buy one, buy a Milwaukee. It'll last you just about forever. I've put this thing through so much. It's been left out in the rain. I think it fell off the truck quite a few times, and they're pretty big. This one come from a circular saw that my grandpa had bought, but he didn't want the bag, so I took the bag, which, you know. And this one's a AWP bag. I got it at a yard sale for $5. It was brand new, so I had tags on it. I use the crap out of this thing. Usually put my sockets and stuff in here when I'm going anywhere, but it's got a lot of attachments, and it's got a nice zipper on it. And when you open it, it's got the things that let it sit open instead of falling in on itself. Milwaukee has that to an extent, but it's actually not as good. It works fine, but it's not as good as the AWP. That's it for the tools. Hope you guys enjoyed. I want to get right into fixing that sucker over there, so stay tuned, and hopefully that video will be right next. And I'll get back with you.